So, just getting ready here. They got away from me a little bit. That's all right. Slaughter, how is it going? I just wanted to make sure you've been waiting. It's been a good day though, hasn't it? You got a beautiful image of your dog. There was all that good news about the job. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what the job is? I'm curious, but no need to share if you're not in the mood. I've got this. And yeah, let's see where we are. Oh, that's cool. So creative and regular. Forgive me, I do still have a little bit of a cold, but it is going away. Hey. 2 days in a row. Yeah, this is the 4th day in a row. But to be fair, Monday was a nonsense stream. So the question is, do we continue with the Twitch Music Collective song, or do we do a little bit of yesterday's? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? A little bit of yesterday's and a little bit of what we wanted to do today. Why don't we at least prep the track? I don't know if anyone was around for the insanity that was this particular stream before this. Yeah, it's all good, Brandon. I'm just being silly. Courtney's not around, but we've got a little gift for her here where we have taken a tiny famous Amos cookie and it matches up quite well with Bob. So hopefully she's into that. Let's import. I believe this is Stephen Tanksley's audio. Make sure I have it all. That should be it. Hopefully it is. I don't know why. Oh, not an audio track. I should listen to what it says and actually create an audio track. So let's do that. Let's bring this in here. Oh, I wonder what sample rate he did it in. Hey, Steven, what sample rate did you use? I am going to just quickly load it up in RX6 and all good. I'm just going to change it to, where are we here? Not repair, utility. Resample to 44.1. Let's make sure we preserve all the audio. It's fine. Yeah. Hey, Earth. How's it going? I just don't like Logic doing it. Logic, when it was version 6, had a huge amount of trouble with sample rate conversion, tons of aliasing. So I use this, but I'm such a nerd. Are you heading back up into the mountains? Okay, let's resave this. Let's get the mixer up here so we can actually close Discord. Close Firefox. and get this show on the hump. I will leave this chat up. I decided to stop with the pain and get something I could use with Twitch chat. Nerd. I am such a nerd. Okay. Let's do this. There we go. Beautiful. And I don't know if anyone had the joy of catching Steven's stream today, but it was incredible. And I've also prepared a little graphic here for Steven. So I have his fish here. So there we go. And maybe we can give it a color that represents one of those. Shall we take the nice orangey color from the fish? I love fish, by the way. Oh, why do you feel like a big jerk, Stephen? It was so much fun. 2,000 people. It was incredible. It was incredible. So I had an idea here. Let's have a listen. I should probably turn on my speakers. Listen to that. Oh, Stephen, so fantastic. Let's just solo it and enjoy a little bit. I want to tell everybody, this is probably not his final mix, and I'm not saying that that is a good or bad thing, but I don't want to put Stephen in the position. I asked him to send me this bounce, and he did, and I'm very thankful. So, you know. Listen to that. Could be a song on its own, Stephen. I'm just gonna make sure everything else is set up here. Just double checking if we're okay, and it looks like we are. Beautiful. Yeah. Yep, Brandon, my audio interfaces are, I have an RME that I use as my central unit. The audio you're hearing is going through an AJA Kona. So I'm sending it out via AES just to get something into OBS that I can monitor myself. And sometimes I have a sound devices interface that I use as a backup if needed. It's portable and has some really beautiful preamps. Yeah, so good, Steven. So let's put a limiter on the master bus just to bring up the sound for all you people out there who have kindly tuned in. Just to bring up the audio a bit, but also not destroy your ears if something happens. Something like that. And if there are any issues with the audio, let me know. I know I try not to work with headphones, so the pops also fantastic. So now the only problem is that my fat fingers are gonna probably destroy this a little bit. I love that it took on a much more minor tone too. Really. So let's go back here. And just started the beat. I just want to hear Steven's work again because I've heard the rest of the song a number of times. is Maz's reverb track, and these are his percussion. So Slaughter, did Drake show up? I think this gaming collective called the 42nd Squadron, or Squad 42, showed up en masse. And it was amazing. Steven's face, his jaw just dropped, and he didn't talk for a few seconds. Alright, let's make sure we're not destroying anyone's ears here. It's a little too hot. Yeah, it was a really beautiful moment. Was one of those things where there was like a mix of nervous energy and joy. Yeah, it was pretty impressive. And I think a lot of the gamers coming in were also impressed by Steven's considerable talents. He just arrived. So I'm gonna try to go for 2 hours minimum tonight. I'm gonna bike home in the rain, the cold, cold rain, if I have to. That next message right there, double A, is triggered by you using that word. And maybe by something that happened yesterday. Okay, so why don't we play around a little bit here? Get all this stuff off. It was so much fun. People are still talking about it today. It's got to be a little drama in the LBC. You know, Nightworks is kind of hard being, I won't say Snoop D-O-double-G, but I somehow, some way, keep coming up with mellow ass shit nearly every single day. Said that. My internal me is cringing. And that's Wom Suga's stuff coming in right here. Really beautiful blend between the two. Did such a nice job on that transition. Maz's stuff is still working so beautifully here too. I might just put this at 0. So why don't we do one thing here? I'm going to do one of Steven's favorite moves, which is we are going to strip the silence here. So I'm going to run this a little lower with the threshold. And let's put some pre-attack and a little more post-release here. Just trim that out. So this is his whole section. Now I'm not feeling that I want to put my voice in.
Spirit of God was hovering over the waters, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. And God said, "Let there be an expanse between the waters to separate."
So let's see. it was really over Steven's stuff that I had some ideas that I wanted to carry. And I even created three. These were all done just for today. So I'm going to put these in to start with. Let's create another instrument here with this channel strip setting. I thought I would take some of my favorite patches from my own Twitch stream. So I don't know if he's done. And I don't want to give that impression. Steven hasn't said he was done. I asked him to send me what he did today so that we weren't competing with each other. Yeah, it's really cool. And it's in a really nice mode. So even though the tune itself should be in C, what's happening here is I think it's like we can move around its relative minor, which is nice. Hey, thanks CBW. How you doing, man? I'm really sorry that the last couple of times I raided I didn't stick around for the stream. I'm often doing this at the end of the day and then running off to get home, but I promise that I will show up and I will, what is this? Oh, this is his impression of how our biking performance will be this year. Anyway, as I was saying, CBW, I promise I will show up and stick around, shortly. So here I had a plan, which was to not only send the piano there, but also to put in a massive, massive reverb. I'm gonna try that, and we can see if that works. Also saved the soft delay I was working on this week. Now I don't know if I'm going to want it. And in fact, just to be consistent, I will put it on all the other tracks as well. It's an anyone in the Twitch Music Collective should join in project. So I'm going to noodle around here with the Steven stuff, and then what I think I might do is shift it forward a little bit, or after. I'm not playing this flute loud enough, and I should. In fact, I'm going to bring everything down a little bit, so that we have some headroom to play with here. Yeah, so it's in the key of C, and it's 120 BPM, and it's in 4/4, so the goal was to keep it really simple to begin. CBW, this is in fact part of the collab. Yep. And the thing is, I think because Drone was so consistent on the C, that there really are a lot of tonal choices to make here, because you can play a minor against it pretty easily. You can have some fun with other modes, because it really is like the root of the song isn't even really a chord, which is nice. So there's really is lots of room for people to kind of massage it in their general direction, however they're feeling. So that was one of the instruments I had, and I'll name it properly. I'm just gonna kind of noodle around here at this whole section and essentially paint a little bit. I'm gonna do it a little bit Bob Ross-like, maybe tackle it the same way Steven did. Start throwing things in there and then boil it down a little bit, because it really did work out quite beautifully when he did it that way. So the way it's working right now is that we're just passing it around from person to person. So anyone who wants to participate, I believe, is welcome to. Actually, I told Drone I would record this for him. Hold on. And yeah, just mention there's a channel ZBW in the Twitch Music Collective Discord where you can just say you want to have at it, and you'll get your turn. And I think what we're going to do is everybody will send their respective tracks, whether it's a mix down of their work or stems or even the individual tracks, to Drone, and he and Dave of Dave Makes Noises will mix it down. And so what I've done here is just sorted by who was working on it. So I put their little channel icons here for fun, and then so I would know who was who. Not that it should matter really. It is all working quite beautifully. You play saxophone, Double A? My brother plays saxophone, oddly. I want this softer. This is really not that nice. It's not as nice as I imagined. And just hear this. You would not be wrong for thinking that. He also plays Hellion. We've been playing a lot of Space Quest. While he's been playing, we've been yelling at him to do things. He was playing Mirror's Edge for a little while. Do it, Double A. There's nothing better than being inspired enough to just stop with this and go do that. And I think you can download the tracks in the TMC. So I'm not sure if there is a vocalist lined up. Should be. It's a great idea. Sorry, everybody. That was brutal. Forgive me. Okay, let's start again and do another little pass of something else. I can keep playing with that, Brandon. We were just talking about that movie. Let me just have a look here. There was a chord that wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be. I'm just gonna quickly tidy up this slightly messy chord performance. I knew something was up. Laying down two separate MIDI channels at once. And this one is coming in a little early, so I'm just gonna bring it back a tiny bit. How long is the trip up into the mountains, the Earth's moon? Quick and Deadly, I was actually also thinking, in addition to perhaps a sampled library, there is a girl here who's not part of the Twitch music community that maybe we could convince to stream. There was also that vocalist who was streaming with David Miner, and David's joined the Twitch music collective, so... Hey Kyla, welcome. This is the collab piece we were talking about. should, quick and deadly. There's no reason. You're part of the community. You've streamed. Get in on it. There is no time like the present. I'm just going to expand these takes here. I want this one on a new track, and actually, I can just comp this here. At least I should be able to. Yep. Okay, that's better. Start from the top again and go for another little pass. We're happy to have you any way you come. Sorry, I still have a bit of a cold. Wow, that sounds like a crazy long adventure. Last November, I decided to drive solo to Florida. That was maybe 22 hours from here. And yeah, brutal for me, at least. Sweet. Well, I'll have you know that I found the songs. It took a little digging, but it doesn't mean I won't be tuning in for the real deal. So let's do a little bit of early mixing here, actually. Let's get that piano sound right after this. That one's good. That one's solid. Could almost drop a bit of the high register. I mean, it's not that high. C3 is pretty low, but this note here, we could just soften a little bit. And maybe these really low notes, just sort of normalize them a little bit. this working out? Not sure I need or love this. Some of the elements are fine, but they're so obscure. I mean, they're so buried that I'd rather redo them more purposefully. So why don't we just cut all this out? Maybe we should do something where we really kind of explode the stereo image for that particular synth. Let's see. Just gonna do one thing here. Forgive me, Stephen. Just a this bit here. Just this. Not that. I wanted repair. Let's just partials and noise. Let's set the bands a little higher. Okay, I'll go back here. Did anything happen to it? No. Sorry. All right, let's go back. I just wanted that blip. A little distracting. So beautiful though, wow. I don't even know if I want to play around it with my own instrumentation because it was such a beautiful thing. I think I'll wait till this is over and I'll just leave this maybe in here. It's a good tool, I have to admit. I have been very happy with it. The B in there didn't work, but that's okay. We can fix that. And the A probably should have been a flat. So Let me actually go here. It's easier this way. Let's hear it again. What are gazelles? I don't even know what that word is. I know the letters. I should redo this. This is not that nice. The high note really fits in, but this is no good, and this is really no good either, so let's just get rid of all that. Thing I don't want to do is complete the song, and I think I'm just going to add in a few little elements here and there consistently throughout that they can do what they want with when they go to mixing. Delete any of it, keep whatever they want, move it around, but I really don't feel like what I want to do is imprint some of me on this, rather just kind of hide behind all this other talent. This part works so beautifully. Got some kind of weird notification, but not sure what it was. Oh, Balthazar Brat. Hey man, thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it. Welcome. We're doing something that is a very Twitch-centric production at the moment. I don't know if you know what's going on. If you do, I won't say. If you don't, and you want to say hello, I'll explain what's happening. Okay, let's see what happened there. Let's quit this just because we don't need it in the background, and I think we're happy with that. All right, so let's play this section from the top. Mix a little bit of the Jupiter, double check if the piano is sitting well. I think some of that final bit here is good, and some of it I would edit out. And these hits, these chords, I don't know how much I want to get in Steven's way here, so we'll see. What are you having for dinner tonight, Double A? We all want to know. I had the world's healthiest lunch. So healthy. I feel like this section could get repeated again. So I'm just going to copy it. I'll copy the automation data because I'm really just writing the fader here on this section. And actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move the automation data into the region so that it follows it around, so I don't have to worry about that question. Oops. I wanted it over the region, didn't I? I did. Oh well. That's what I get. Okay. Yeah, I think there's going to be lots of space, Brandon. I think the neat thing about passing it around like this, oh, do tell, IKEA hot dogs. I had you. 2 wonderful 75-cent IKEA hot dogs. But as I was saying, Brandon, I think the neat thing about passing this around as stems is we can play off each other, but we can also just take the original track and start mixing down what we want. So if you have a really good idea, I think it's a neat opportunity to be able to put it in irrespective of other things and just choose in the end. And I don't see that as necessarily a bad thing. I know, eh? Really high end. V was there today. So, Brandon, I think what's happened is that it has migrated a little bit from C major to C minor. Because I keep playing C minor, and I hear a lot of C minor in Steven's work. And even here, you know, it's not so much if I go to my piano. It's not very major at all. was kind of fun. I don't know if I would use that. I think there could be an opportunity to mix that random section differently. So I'm just going to get it there in case it was another happy accident. IKEA is overrated. I think if you have one. If you don't have one, it's pretty awesome. Only because the furniture is reasonably well thought out some of the time. And the instructions can be really funny. Yeah, I think A minor would work as well. It seems like Drone's intention to keep it in C was even more inspired than we thought, because it leaves so much room for playing around with the tonal shifts and the might put a little more piano here. All right, let's see where we are, and let's stop painting at the front, or this plane is not going to be able to take off, and just do a tiny bit at the back. And I think I would pass this on after.
God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. And God said, let there be an expanse between the waters to separate water from water.
I'll noodle around with this a bit while I'm here, and
The water under the expanse
we'll see.
And it was so.
This can go right back here as well.
There was morning, the second day. And God said, let the water and the water together to one
In
place.
fact, maybe just that one. Sorry, everybody. Let's do a little mixing there too, actually. This part's fine. That was too loud. Nice emotes, Brandon. Dude. So let's fix this and curve it up a bit. Take this one. I was okay with that. So fantastic. So that note is unnecessary. I could just hold those. We can quiet this one down without actually changing the fader. close. That needs a little touch up here. If we zoom this up, I bet my playing is really inconsistent. Yep. So let's do the same. And just fix these a little bit. Hey, drone. You just coming in to see what we were doing? Did you see what happened in the Twitch Music Collective Discord? The Music Collective is the star of a very big show this afternoon. Thursday night. And I don't know if this song counts towards my total of the week, but I'm going to do it anyway so that as of tomorrow night, we are just one song behind. And that means that we'll only have to produce 2 songs next week instead of 3. I'm not ending this stream just yet, and not for another 40 minutes or so. Lusty Bard, hey man, how's it going? Mom Sugar, dude, it is the day of this song. Good to see you too. I don't know if you know what's going on, Lusty, and I dig your channel, man. You're one of the first follows I ever threw on Twitch. This is a Twitch Music Collective song, so very little of what you're hearing right now is me. You're hearing Drone Hands, Masmith, Stephen Tanksley. You're about to hear Wamashuga, who just walked in. And I thought that instead of doing something really concrete, I would just put in a few little elements here and there before passing it on. In part because so much of what was already done was so nice. I felt like just a few things would be enough for me, and then I'll pass it on so that more people have a chance to take a stab at it. So yeah, big collab. You're about to hear Steven's part end, and so here, Wamashuga, Is that how you say your nickname? Because it really seems like Warm Sugar without the R's. So that's what I've been doing. Anyway, and now his section is just about to come in. It's really fantastic. It's a really beautiful transition that Steven got here. Ah, look how nicely that works, dude. You didn't get greedy. I think you were, you know, at the top for a reason. Well, I've heard a lot of people say Wamasuga, but it always struck me like it was like a southern drawl, Wamasuga. So I didn't play anything here. I thought this was such a nice shift that it really could stand to be left alone by my dirty hands. I might add in just a tiny bit more of this piano here, but only for consistency. Hey, dude. How's it going? Did you stream late last night? I know we said we'd talk today and we didn't. So I just put some very light chords here. And I think I'll do a little bit of the same here at the end, and that way Drone can kind of pick what of this he likes. And that, for example, I did not like, so I'm just going to get rid of it. And I thought this was like a nice little hint before the flute, but I think the register is just too much in the middle. So I'm going to just raise it up an octave and see if that works. We'll just take this whole section and transform it up an octave. Just see if that's a little better. Don Call, yo man, we are doing something different today. This is a collaboration between a fair number of people who are in the channel now, and yeah, I had nothing to do with it. They created a Twitch music collective and invited some music streamers to join, and so everybody's been pitching in on this sort of ambient jam. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it. Yeah, I thought a little bit of stars, you know, in the background could help to hide my depression. Are you going to go on later again, Don Call? I know you said you'd stream again. Because if you are, maybe we could raid you in half an hour or so. But if you guys don't know Don Call's work, you should. Incredibly talented composer, musician, producer, pianist. It's all good. I will stop by your stream later and say, "What's up, my actual brother?" Okay, so let's just lay some piano on this after this section. Just a few more deep C minor chords. kind of keep that chunky low end. There's a really fantastic quote, Nightworks, of Neil deGrasse Tyson at the end of his Hot Ones episode. All right, where are we here? Which I highly recommend watching. He goes all in on the chicken wings. Jesus. So, my grandmother, may she rest in peace, was a like 4'6" Greek lady, and she pronounced the word peanuts like as in the nut, Peanus. So we did spend an inordinate amount of time as children asking for a certain type of sandwich. All right, let's mix in this little bit of synth that I have down here. It's arpeggiated, and I think just a little hint of it. Doesn't need to go there, so we'll cut out. I think I'll just move it over by 4 bars. 3. Let's do that. All right, let's see. I'm not sure if this needs to be here. That one's okay. So let's cut off this first one and make the second one, or now this new first one, really subtle. I think this final chord was a little messy. That was okay. Could have played this high note a little better. Thing I would like to put back in is a little bit of this guy, but I don't know if it needs it. I feel like at this point I would rather pass it to somebody else and see what they do, and I don't even know if this is needed here. Just solo it and see what the deal is. What am I doing here? Is the question. Is this worth keeping? Well, I mean, it's a nice sound and all, but that doesn't tell us anything. All right, so Don Call, I'm going to invite you to the Twitch Music Collective. And I would say the answer would be yeah. If anybody has a Twitch Music Collective link invite hanging around right now, would you mind whispering it to Don Call? If not, I'll do it as soon as I'm done. Okay, let me just hear these two things together, 24 and Jupiter Red, sorry. I might as well hear this as well. Quick and Deadly. This might be the perfect song for that kind of mix. It's close to what I was hoping to get here. So, first of all, my fader move was pathetic. So let's just clear that out and do that one more time. Sweet. Well, that's fantastic news. So let me just hear this one, and then I think I will bounce these down. So then we don't need it here. Don't need any of this at that point. The Stevens job here is so good. I don't want to mess with it once this final chord is in play. Just going to run through this section. So Don called the guy that's in sort of orchestrating it, the guy who's first tracked this is up here, Drone Hands. He has a drone type stream, and he's really the one that is going to pass it around from person to person. If you post that you're interested in doing it in the Nesting Dolls channel, I think every single member will get a turn. He's just going to take care of sending it along from person to person. That's fine. I'm even happy with that movement there, but there's something about these notes. First of all, these. Yuck. Petros, what were you thinking? Let me just have a look how offbeat I am playing. Pretty offbeat. So I'm going to tighten them up a little. Oof. Yeah, I almost want them to just disappear into this section. And I know that they're going to do a better job mixing it, but... Pretty poorly played. Oh, and there, that needs a little work too. Just give me a sec here. this point is actually somewhere over, I think, 12 or 13 minutes long. So it really is a massive jam, hopefully with enough room for people to put a little bit of everything in. It's kind of interesting because it's almost like a snapshot of where a diverse array of the global, like, grand Twitch music community for creators is, with everybody doing something a little bit different. I think that's a really wonderful way to sort of capture this moment in time. You might also like this stream if you haven't been there, Masmith. Yeah, I'm happy with my part here. DBW, that's cool, man. My whole last week was this computer had actually died. One of the hard disk blades had failed, and I had been hanging on to it. If I rebooted it enough times, one of them would eventually work, but it died last week, and so I was out without this thing for a whole week. So, I will bounce all these tracks in place. I'm actually going to create tracks for these guys just so that I can air verb, make sure that I can have reverb tails for drone hands here separately from these. So we'll keep these dry for him, and we'll just print this. There we go. That's the tune. So I probably don't have anything hanging out much past this point. Let's just take all these and bounce them. New tracks, we will include volume and pan automation. I don't really need overload protection, but we'll make sure we render the plugins. Yeah, so. Yeah, updates. It's always a crapshoot, you know? It's like rolling the dice. I'm always so nervous when there's a new update. I had refused to update the sample player for my sample library because for almost 3 years, I had skipped an entire version. I was on version 4 and they were well into version 6 because so many projects I had worked on were dependent on it, and I didn't know if I wanted to I didn't know if I wanted to take the chance. Okay, so this is going to take a little second. Do we want to hear anything in the meantime, anybody? Ooh, I guess those hot dogs weren't enough today. Yeah, there's that too, Don Call. You know, sometimes something will, in an update, they'll change something fundamental to a workflow. Apple's done it a little bit here. One of the most annoying ones was that these channel strips, you used to be able to tie them to the region colors automatically. And while you can now color the regions, like the channel strips, it takes 2 moves instead of the former 1 move. I'm always puzzled when they make a change like that. Let's give them more useless work to do. Okay, so once that's done, I think I'm going to spend a few minutes on this week's track of my own, and then I will break this down and send it out so that Drone can pass it along. It was funny, I think when Steven was at this earlier today, so Steven's section being this nice yellow one here that's so haunting, I think he was into like the 100th track. He did such an amazing job building it out so quickly. And in the same amount of time, I barely got 5 down, and one of them has this 1 note. So yeah, that's pretty funny. Okay. Sorry about this, dead air. It'd be nice if Logic at least had some kind of elevator music plug-in it could play while this was happening. But we are just about done, and we can check out the song I was working on. So I'm probably going to go for about 25 more minutes. I hope it doesn't have to do this for each one. That would be really, really annoying, but it looks like it is. We will see. We will see. It's a dead air. I should do a little dance at this point. Are we good? Doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like Logic is done here. Oh, there we go. They are all here. Though oddly, this one did not record the last section. I don't know why. It seems odd. The piano just ends. I will redo this after, off stream. So, let's see where we are. Awesome. That makes me very happy. When does the job start, Don Call? Did it start today? All right. So let's see where we are with this one. It's going to be a bit of a change for everybody, and it's definitely not going to sound quite as nice. But here we go. It needs quite a bit of work in comparison. Something weird happened. That bass sounds really present. I wonder if we accidentally put something in one of the side chains on in auto gain. That would be my guess. know? There's a problem somewhere, but it may have been that I was suffering ear fatigue yesterday after hearing it so frequently. I noticed there were at least 2 sections that were a little questionable. Hey, thanks for the host, man. I appreciate that very much. Feel a little undeserving, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Yeah, like that Stringmates, something about it is, I'm not loving it, but I'm not going to change it at this point, this deep into the mix. I would save it if I was using this for something real, but we are so behind. Gotta just commit at some point. So something happened here. Something's gone crazy. And we've got a phone ringing in the office, which is very unusual. So what's happening? Oh yeah, our French horns that we added yesterday. I think I went a little too crazy with them. There's definitely an issue there with the mix, both in terms of what's happening, and also it feels like we lost a bit of momentum right there, where we want to move towards an ending. Sorry, ZBW. My string library is ancient. I can show you. It is East-West Play. So they're original symphonic strings. The Platinum Plus edition with the 3 mic positions and like some of the extra articulations that they had when they released it. I have been looking for a new string library for a while, but there's still some life left in this one. I generally use them in the key switch mode so that I can switch between articulations to make it sound a little more alive. So I don't know what I pulled up here. I think those are bass strings. I don't have this set to follow what I'm doing. Yeah, they sound pretty real, if used correctly, but you know. I do think some of the trick is, and this isn't me, so this is not me sounding, trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about or that I have a lot of skill here, but when you hear the demos for this stuff, a lot of it has to do with the player, and I have a lot to learn in that respect, with especially tracking expression and even better key switching. few little tricks along the way to make things sound more alive that I use, whether it's putting overdrive on some strings and horns, because they're often recorded very flat, or at least this library is. There's a big problem with this library, though, is that they're not phase coherent, which is a bit disappointing, and sometimes it can cause some real trouble in a mix when you've got all this phase cancellation, so it sounds fantastic here, and then you take it to the car, or you listen to it on some less than ideal sound system, and an instrument nearly completely disappears, and you're just left there with, your song standing there with no pants. Okay, that percussion ending is a little too cliched. Sorry, I was working on this yesterday, and I don't know about this. First of all, it's way too present. So let's at least take these bad boys, knock them down a bit, take these down. And I can probably add some humanization into this, because just a little too mechanical. So let's randomize the position a little more and the velocity, but we won't touch the length here. There might have been too much. Ooh, yeah, way too much. Got carried away. 66 ticks. Half. It's really this one that it's moving too much. That one we can put back manually. That's a little better, especially for such big percussion. Now let's figure out what's going on with this French horn line. Well, Don, I do think that you have an ear for incredible mixing. So, like, when I listen to your channel, it's the thing I'm most envious about, is just how almost innately you get the sound sitting in a way that's pleasant from the start. I tend to leave things to be a little too muddy. So I'm really, really good about phase coherency, but it lacks any kind of emotion sometimes. So I definitely pick your problem over mine. So ZBW, are you suggesting, let me just cycle this section, just get rid of this ridiculous last one? Here, I can mute it. Boom. Thank you. That does sound much better. So I think what I want to do here, because I am happy with these, but for some reason, they're just in the way here. I'm going to just redo this whole automation. So I'm going to delete this visible automation. Come on. And I'll rewrite this fader. That first cello note is a little too present too. very big proponent of never putting something in without taking something away. And I do think the most difficult thing for me is editing myself. You can't see the forest for the trees sometimes. Cool. Well, maybe we get 2 done today. Mm-hmm. It's a great way to approach things, and one I'm not entirely practiced at doing, but there's time. So as we get close to the end here of today's stream, do we want to poll who we might raid if anyone's on, or if anyone wants to get on? We could do that. I think it is like this. And then you gotta put in the options. Is anyone online? Excuse me, I'm still getting over this cold. Yeah, Don called. Do you want to just start? You're still around? You in the mood? That's right. It is Synth Thursday. I can keep working until somebody shows up. I have no problem. I don't need to quit. For more music. I am really happy with this section. This section with the least amount of stuff. Yeah, no pressure though. We're just being silly. And that piano needs to get fixed. It sounds like I'm mashing the keyboard right there. Look at that. This should be gentle. But derp. Like a really cute dog with its tongue stuck out. All right. Sweet. Okay, and that is a mistake with Logic somewhere. I'm not sure what happened there. It's been happening once in a while since this reinstall, so exactly what we were talking about. And that first cello note is really disturbing. And one note here. Aw, come on. So as soon as Don Call is live, we can go transfer over. He's being hard on himself as usual. You ready? So right at the 2-hour mark, this couldn't be better. As usual, I'd love to thank everybody for coming out today. This Twitch Music Collective work in progress has been really fun. Fun to see evolve, fun to be part of. It's going to be fun to see where it goes. And yeah, keep being good to each other. And let's go see Don Call. You ready? Is he up? I'll check. Oh, I got his go live. So let's do it. Thanks, everyone. Always great to see you, and I will see you tomorrow for an extra long one. We'll see. Let's see if we can get a song done in a day. Until then, cheers.